My name is Chris Howard, and I'm the founder and CEO of Softeq. We're a 25-year-old company that excels at digital transformation, including early-stage technology innovation, business consulting, and full-stack, full-cycle engineering services. We are headquartered in Houston, Texas, with offices worldwide, and we recently opened a new location in Vilnius, Lithuania. At Softeq, innovation is one of our company's core values, which is why we established the Softeq Innovation Lab in collaboration with MIT. So today I'm going to share some lessons learned in innovation, what's new, and what works. Every company has a choice. You either need to be a leader in innovation or be eclipsed by it. It's that old adage, innovate or die. And if you're an existing organization, you really can't afford to wait. Shift happens whether you want it to or not. There are so many examples out there of companies that waited too long and then got disrupted by a faster-moving, innovative startup. Examples like Blockbuster with over 20,000 locations. Getting driven out of business by the much smaller but innovative company Netflix. Or take Kodak and SanDisk, for example. Kodak really should have reinvented themselves as the trusted flash provider for the digital camera age. Blackberry and Apple. Again, Apple disrupting a market that Blackberry thought they really had a handle on. If you don't innovate, somebody else will. And a good example of this is Apple, who comes out with products that eat into their own market share. Launching the iPhone with a music player when the iPod was their top seller, for example. So the challenge is how to create a portfolio of smart products that make your company central to solving the most impactful problems of our time. This is how you stay relevant. So I'm going to go over 3 rules of innovation in 2021. While in the past, you could get innovation right by getting one thing right. Today, companies need to get 3 things right. Number 1, you need to have a portfolio of 20x breakthroughs. Number 2, you need to innovate from the outside in. And number 3, you need to focus on earth shots over moon shots. And I'll explain what all 3 of these things mean. Rule number 1, you need 20x breakthroughs. So what is a 20x breakthrough exactly? Well, it's rapidly figuring out what works and what doesn't. Innovation is the result of an optimized portfolio of innovation experiments, not just one single bet. You want to experiment and optimize for several bets, and chances are one of those, or maybe a few of those hopefully, are going to be a 20 times breakthrough that's going to grow your business exponentially or reinvent your business. Companies must balance continuously innovating their core business while exploring those blue ocean opportunities. But don't fall in love with your ideas. Outcomes beat ideas. Blackberry fell in love with their keyboard. And hey, I loved my Blackberry. My Crackberry is what they used to call them back in the day. Loved that keyboard, but look where they are now. Turns out there were a whole lot of people who didn't care so much about Blackberry's keyboard and didn't mind typing on a glass screen. That's innovation. How do you get that outcome? Well, it's possible to rapidly prove or disprove your hypothesis in just 1 week of work, for example. This is exactly what our innovation lab does. You don't walk out with a slide deck. At Softeq, we are builders. We produce things. we build things. You walk out with a prototype that you can test and that there's a market for. And we know how to do that over the course of a 5-day boot camp. Now that you've identified something and you've done a little bit of real-world testing, then you need to de-risk it. You need to prototype, test, iterate, and measure. Methodically transform the product to bring it to market. You can do this over a 100-day sprint, for example. You only need version 1.0 here. We see companies make the same mistake over and over. They try to create version 3.0 of their product, or what they think is version 3.0 of their product, pack it full of features they're not even sure the customer wants yet. And before getting into the hands of the consumers and finding out what you don't know yet, finding out what those consumers think of those features, or what's important to them, or what's not important to them. So create version 1.0 during that sprint and get some quick feedback. Okay, rule number 2, innovate from the outside in. Gone are the days of myopic corporate innovation labs, innovation summits, and keynotes. Whether it is your core business or a new industry, you can't do it alone. Every company has people who have left, for example. Well, invite them back and have them tell you how you can do better, how you can be better. Jeff Bezos left to create Amazon. Brian Armstrong left Goldman Sachs to create Coinbase because Goldman Sachs didn't really believe in the crypto market. Or find a partner with a network of those types of guys, the 20x innovators that have created billion-dollar industries. If you don't foster that innovation, you'll get killed by startups. So no excuses. There's a lot of excuses here. You just need to follow the innovation imperative. Find those 20x innovators, the ones that have come up with those billion-dollar ideas. Cross-pollination is critical because they can help you define your go-to-market strategy. No one person is an expert. If you don't get outside the echo chamber of your own company, you might not get that next idea that will be the big breakthrough for your business. So seek it out. In the Softeq Innovation Lab, we maintain a network of 20x innovators across a wide range of domains. We match them with a company that's trying to innovate around an existing product or a new idea. And they're bringing a fresh perspective while also understanding what's possible with the technology of today. It has to be achievable. These are the people who have launched businesses with a 20x ROI as entrepreneurs in some of the biggest companies in the world. An entrepreneur is like an entrepreneur, but they are working inside of an existing business, internally. They're the ones that will help you define your most impactful experiments on your product, go-to-market strategy, or your business model, and will help you unlock that exponential growth that you're looking for. Okay, now, rule number 3. Earth shots over moon shots. It's not all about the new opportunities. Innovation can be found in an incremental feature where success then earns you the right and the time to do more later. And you want to aim for that sweet spot of what's possible with the technology of today. Here down on Earth, small ideas can lead to big results. And you can think big too, but make sure you don't have to bend the laws of physics to achieve your goal. It needs to be achievable. Whether energizing an existing business or pursuing opportunities that open markets, companies today, they need to leverage technologies that are impactful ROI, not science fiction. Focus on experiences, but don't forget your business model. And don't ignore tangential and adjacent businesses. Maybe you have a smart dog collar, but what if you applied that technology to elder care, for example? So look outside your space as well for those key innovation moments. Think about how you can best capture the opportunity. What's the experience? What's the business model? What are the additional markets? You might have captured a small part of the larger opportunity, and maybe very little of your business, or perhaps none of it, is digital in any way. But it could be. You need to build the funnel back into your business and master the game of digital acquisition. And you do that on two different fronts. Everyone wants to build amazing experiences, which is fine, but subscription economics really unlocks the capital. Because companies with a subscription model are outperforming the S&P by 7 times. Businesses like fitness are challenged by hybridness. Peloton built a $45 billion company for the stationary US biker market. How did they do that? Not with an attitude of, let's build a stationary bike, but by innovating. They created an entire platform, a community, and content all around that bike. So what do some innovative earth shots look like? Well, say you're an eyeglass company. What if people could try on your glass frames using AR and see what they look like? They wouldn't even have to come to your store. They could go through a lot of different eyeglasses, try them on, test them, and then just order them, all from the comfort of their own home. Innovation is about the consumer experience. Technology for tech just doesn't matter. It's not always more and more of the product, but what's more for the person. For example, how can you make someone a safer biker? What if we allowed people to subscribe to a car rather than buy or lease, and then be able to trade up every 4 months instead of every 4 years? Companies like Volvo are already experimenting with this model. AR/VR is a multiple billion-dollar opportunity across all industries. Retail, sports, events, etc. You can think of AR and VR use cases for any and all of them. IKEA in retail. What if I could see the exact couch in my living room right now before I buy it? What if I could see through water, or see where other people had caught a fish recently, and with what lure? I could do that with augmented reality. What if I had a superpower like bionic hearing? This type of thing is possible today. What if I could see the location of pipes and electrical lines without having to wait 2 weeks to have someone come and spray paint on the road? How much faster could we get our public works projects done? What if I could exercise and feel like I was actually rowing on a river or racing a friend of mine? What would that feel like instead of just sitting in my living room? What if I had a heads-up display as I rode my bike? Show how fast I'm going, how much my heart rate is, how much I've ridden that day. Maybe a ghost rider of my last time I rode that exact same route. What if my mattress could tell me how to get better sleep? That would be cool. What if my mirror could be my shopping stylist? We can do that. What if I could collaborate with my colleagues in real time, in VR? This is actually, again, possible today. We recently held a part of our strategic planning session at Softeq entirely in VR. with participants spread out around the world. But it felt like we were all in one room. It was actually pretty neat. What if you could use computer vision to detect poses? Some of the home gym systems are doing this already, showing you how to lift weights in the right way, not hurt yourself, get the ultimate performance from that exercise. What if you could detect the emotions of your users or your customers or your patients? How could you use that information? Could you improve safety? Could you adapt their experience in real time? Could you understand they weren't happy and you might have some way of making them happy? Maybe change the process because you see most people don't like it. What if you gamified part of your product? This is a very powerful concept, but many companies can't get past that word game. Like it's just play and not serious. It's not just gamifying for kids. There are all kinds of ways to apply gamification to adults and business products. Maybe it shows you germs and how long you're washing your hands and the germs actually go away, right? I've seen this also with toothbrushes. With augmented reality, you can guide workers on how to do tasks or make repairs. And even have an expert that's teaching alongside you. And that expert could be anywhere in the world, but they'd be right there advising you. Or maybe that expert can tell you on demand what wire you need to cut first. Is it the red wire or the blue wire? If any of you are fans of The Mandalorian, or even Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, needed help with the red and blue wires. The most important thing, while involved in innovation, is to focus on the earth shots. All of those examples are possible today. They are earth shots, not moon shots, but the potential is huge. And finally, innovation is a contact sport, not a spreadsheet sport. Companies need to tap into the smartest minds outside of their organization to survive. You need to get in the room with customers and feel it out. This is a recent boot camp session in the Softeq Innovation Lab. Here we are creating and prototyping a new experience for a brand that is completely offline today. But over that boot camp sprint, you can test, you can feel, you can experiment, you can try, and leave that boot camp session with something that you can go back and test with. So to reiterate, 3 rules for 2021. Create a portfolio of 20x breakthroughs. Innovate from the outside in by bringing in 20x innovators. And focus on earth shots, not moon shots. And that's exactly what we do at Softeq. We use the Softeq Innovation Lab to unlock those ideas and then use our 25 years of product development experience to bring those ideas to market for our customers. We're doing that for innovative startups, and we're doing it for the Fortune 500 out there. Everybody needs to innovate. And as Alan Kay said, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. So if you're a company or a person interested in this type of work, we'd love to hear from you. We're super interested in the talent of Lithuania and excited to have our latest location in Vilnius. Many of these innovations are being done around this region today. So that's it for me today. Achu, thank you for your time today, and I hope you found it interesting and informative. So put those innovation hats on and maybe think about how you could use augmented reality to innovate in your own project or company. And good luck.